Good afternoon and welcome to the Let's Talk Fabulous show. My name is Tamara Hunter and I am this week's host. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Can you feel the frequency? We're going to be talking about that and how frequency can actually, there's miracles in this world. And those miracles, that frequency can be called upon and that it can change your life and possibly even some healing. We're going to be hearing from those that know and some stories to back it up. So what do you think? Let's do it and let's talk. First of all, I want to say, yes, my backdrop is different. I am somewhere special today. I am in the heartland of America, in the Ozarks, and at a beautiful ranch. It is called the Morel Ranch. And, we might even talk about it a little bit. Yes, wink, wink. I have been here with frequency, people that know, and we actually have some video from them too. They wanted to share their thoughts. So with that, I want to go around the room, and we have an international group today. And if you wouldn't mind, tell us who you are and where you are, and then we're going to dive into this. I'm going to start with you, Pamela. You are muted.
Yes, I'm actually coming to you from Park City, Utah. I work here at an integrative health clinic, and we have an incredible sound bathroom. We work with Parkinson's patients. People have been given almost like a death sentence, and they come here. We're working with stem cell activation because our stem cells are our divine light that activates so much of our genius, and they know exactly what to do when doctors don't. And then we also work with the power of sound. And I have literally seen our Parkinson's patients that can't even hold a glass. When they come into the sound bathroom, they literally are still. And I can't help but get a video out to show them. And when they see themselves still, they just cry. So there's some beautiful, beautiful things happening with the power of sound. And also people that have been healing from cancer too. I've worked with integrative health. We were with a great big panel with Dr. Gaynor, who was with the cancer specialists, and he did a whole book, and he also used the bowls to help his cancer patients.
And we're going to get into that a little bit more in the show, and I cannot wait, because if you don't know what bowls are all about with frequency, you will today. Thank you so very much. We're going to move on to Nori Love. Tell us about where are you today and just a little bit about you. You are muted. I can't hear you.
I am in beautiful Berkeley Springs, West Virginia, where George Washington and his friends used to come to partake of the healing waters.
Perfect.
Yeah, right?
Oh my goodness, and your name says it all, you know, right there. Love, that's a frequency in itself, and we're going to get to that. And then I said, we're international. Barb, where are you today?
Hi, Tamara. Thank you for having me today. I am in central Alberta, Canada, and it is a gorgeous day out today.
Perfect. And, we have the open door policy, as you all know, in this show, and we've got a little bit of technology, or may I say frequency issues going on. And so one of our guests, Rhonda, is doing all that she can to be joining us. Yet, as always, we seem to always have surprises here. And I want to start with a surprise for one of our ghosts. She didn't know that we'd be doing this, but it kind of sets us off in the right direction. Here we go.
In the spring of 2009, something happened in northern Arizona. was it merely just a gathering of ancient wisdom keepers from around the world? Or because it was at the request of a Mayan high priest, as part of the fulfillment of the Mayan prophecy? Was it something much greater? As we approach what the Mayans referred to as Year Zero, the ending of the Mayan calendar in 2012, their prophecy, and prophecies from many cultures from around the world, speak of a shifting of the ages, dramatic changes to our world and humanity, prophecies we are witnessing coming true today.
Sacred water, sacred land. We are all connected by the golden thread of the God of all creation. All is holy, all is one. Sacred earth, sacred sun, in the mystery of creation. All is one. In the one. All is one. In the one. Translucent, brilliant, perfect and bright. Rainbows of color through fractals of light. We are one. In the one. We are all connected by the central flame in the fire of all creation. Sacred fire. All is perfect, all is whole. Sacred thorn, sacred rose in the garden of creation.
So, who was that a surprise for? Pamela. Okay, so I wanted to share this to start the show off because we've talked about already the music, the sound, frequency, and you actually, that's your voice. You wrote that song and you sang it, correct? Can you just, like a minute or less, tell us a little bit about that? Because then we'll go in and get everybody else contributing to what it is that we're doing today.
Wow. Well, that was really a profound time because we had the leaders of all the indigenous tribes and religions from all around the earth come to Sedona. And I filmed it with Skip Thomas, which is a real favorite of mine. And it was amazing what they said then, watching it come forward now and the events. And one of the main things I think that was beautiful about what they said is that, and this is what keeps us in a place where we can know we can be in joy and that we can follow, as they said, animals know when a tsunami is coming and they leave before they come to the area. And guess what? When we come into that inner alignment with our own bodies, from up above and down, and stay in the present moment, we literally know exactly what to do when, and we're always safe and we can be secure if we come back to 12 o'clock. And I loved writing that song, and it was wonderful because there is this sacred fire and it's inside of our heart. And we can always come home, and we are connected, and we really are all connected, and we're learning that more than ever.
I love that. And that goes into Barb is there amongst the trees, amongst nature. amongst the, when you think about there in Sedona, you think about what you were singing about and that we're all connected. We have people all over the world that join us in this show. And in fact, I'd love to have all of you shout out if you'd like, either in replay or live. Where are you watching from? We consider you important because we are here for you. You are the reason we show up to let you know how fabulous you are. I'm going to have you, Barb, you actually sent in something, and I'm going to play that, and then we're going to go and talk with you a bit about it, okay?
Hello, everybody. Glad to be here with you. My name is Barbara Perozak. And yes, I could use some days. Listen, want to share with you what the magic's going to come through the panelists today for you. 3 things you're going to hear from all the panelists today that are going to be wrapped up in one little package. And those 3 things are the power of frequency, vibration, sound, and coupled together all in one package called thought. What I want to bring to you today as a panelist is the power of your thoughts. You see, what we think is what we feel, not the other way around. Our thoughts can help us when we're down on our knees. Let's face it, being human is messy. It's challenging. It's also filled with complete and utter peace, joy, and hope. When we run our worlds from our thoughts rather than from emotions, it's the one thing that we'll always have control over. Especially in times when there are things that we don't have control over. Let's talk about it. I'm happy to be here with you.
When you sent that in and I first saw it, I'll tell you, I had tears. Your story is incredible to me. And I'm going to let you share a little bit, and I'm going to let you take the lead. I'm not going to dive too deep. I want you to be free to share what you want to share. You joined us not long ago in our community, and I've gotten to know you quite quickly. It's like we've known each other forever, right? And we've had some interesting experiences in just the last little bit. Do you want to share with everybody where you are, why this is so significant? And I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to let you share what you'd like to share right now. And thank you for being with us, Barb.
Thank you, Tamara. I'm curious about the video bringing tears to you. That's very
I know your story so well. And when you said life can be messy,
challenging, right?
challenging,
Well, I
yes.
am sitting in my forest on my farm, and I have no reception. And I'm in a crooked old farm. I mean, crooked and old. When you walk in, it's literally crooked and it's really old. And being in the corporate world for 36 years, I moved out here 4 or 5 years ago. I was very unwell, 3 organs shut down from MS. It had progressed quite significantly. And I lost my ability to walk, overstimulated, had seizures, head tics, all the symptoms that go with MS. It's a pretty naughty disease. And I had to relearn to cope. I had to relearn to manage. And listening to the video that was played on sound, man, I used to kind of scoff at that because I thought, oh, it seems so simple, but it's not. Like there's so much vibration and frequency in sound, and there is so much vibration and frequency in words, how we talk to ourselves, how we are spoken to, and the people that we allow in our worlds. And I've come to learn being out in the forest here because this is the only place I can get reception or at the end of my road, and it's far less dusty here than if I was at the end of the road. And I've come to realize that our thoughts are immensely powerful. They have a very strong frequency and vibration, depending on the words that we use with others, with ourselves. And renewing the power of my mind has helped me tremendously in coping with the MS that's progressing and with the circumstances and challenges that I have to overcome. And we all have challenges. There's not just the MS. We all have challenges of some sort. And I just find that harnessing the power of thought has been really incredible as far as staying upbeat, finding purpose in life, and finding this community here and being with like-minded people. It's pretty rad.
Pretty rad. I love it. I love it. Okay, so may I ask, what are you sitting? Where are you sitting, and what are you sitting in?
Usually I'm in a wheelchair. Since I did chemo a year and a half ago, I was on it for 2 years. I ended up in the wheelchair, and I can only walk 150 steps at a cost. Like I lose my eyesight, and then I'm literally in bed for 3 weeks, 24/7. And I'm in my scooter right now. I was gifted just a couple days ago from a friend, and talk about miracles. My friends know me better than I know myself. So I'm in the scooter, and it's energy conservation. I am tickled.
Scooter girl. And you take care of your chickens, you take care of your farm, and you are the one that does it. You go out there, and now you got a scooter to do it. Good for you. And thank you all that are watching that helped to make this possible for a lady that is just absolutely inspiring so many. Thank you for that message.
It's pretty goofy. You're welcome.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so I want to go now to Nori, and then welcome also Rhonda. We have Rhonda here with us. And Rhonda, where are you coming in from?
Colorado Springs, Colorado.
Perfect. And so glad you're here. We're going to get to you in a moment. I want to go to Nori Love right now, and I'm going to play your video, and then I want to dive in to what has been shared by both. Because of your credentials and your experience, I think we're going to start putting together what it is, where we're going with this. I hope everybody, usually we remind everybody to take notes. And, this is one, not only take notes, but I have tissue ready to go. So, be ready to go here soon, because we're going to be putting this together, and then we're going to put it to you. And we want to have you share it with us out there in our digital audience. If you would like any of your stories, anything that you want to share that will give hope to those right now that are looking for it. So here we go with Nori.
2 patients with 99.9% mortality rates were in the trauma ICU. Oddly, they had the same rare injury from lethal car accidents. The injuries were so rare that the most seasoned trauma surgeon had never seen them. One nurse worked with each of them. Everything is energy, our thoughts, our feelings, our words. This nurse received words from the divine, from God, to speak to each of the patients, and she did. And even though they were in chemical comas, they received it. Their body, their heart, their brain, their soul received a spark of energy because they opened to, they aligned with, they attuned to the energy and frequency of divine healing. Sometime very later, they both walked out of the hospital completely healed. And what we see here is nothing short of the energy and the frequency of the miraculous.
Okay, so who was the nurse? All right, let's get you off mute.
It was me.
So why don't you talk to that? Because you have an incredible experience and education and so many different ways of being able to look at this subject matter. What an inspiring story to kick us off with the storytelling. So
I love
please
it.
tell us more about that.
And, you know, the first thing I would love to say, especially right now, because some things are so chaotic, you never know when you're in the hospital where some nurse, some doctor, the lady who delivers your food, you don't know when they may be praying for you or carrying an energy that might help you to shift right into higher healing. So that particular story still gets me. I went to the burn trauma unit after stomping my foot at God and said, look, if this is true, right, this vessel that you allow me to be for your love, if this is true, prove it to me in this unit, because, you know, the people were so broken and the electrical interference was so intense. And I was working with a bunch of Western, you know, medical people, you know, who didn't believe in the woo-woo. But when these two patients who had the same most unusual injury came in, and I got to work with them like the first 2 weeks during my shift. At 3:00 in the morning, I just got really quiet and I was inspired to say these words. So I'd go up to the head of the bed and say, imagine, just imagine being in a beautiful field of flowers and you're completely well. And, you know, I would speak the words that were given to me, and they all ended with, use your mind and your prayers to make yourself well. And when these two patients came back in a long time later and told the chief trauma surgeon, you know, Nori healed me, the doctor was like, we know Nori's a good nurse. They're like, no, you don't get it. Nori healed me. And, you know, it wasn't about me. I am just the messenger. But the energy and the words, and they often had me put my hands in certain places that sparked the desire. I don't know what it sparked, but somehow defying the 99.9% mortality rate, two people defying that is not by chance. You know, that is nothing short of divine intervention.
And that's something that right now, as I said to everyone, write it down. That is something that we can all tap into today, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, you know, there are people, maybe you see somebody, you know, you're at a restaurant or something and you're compelled to touch them. Have you ever done that? There might be a little magic there, you know.
I saw it a couple days ago.
You did? I love that. I love that. You just never know when there's somebody there to co-create in your healing.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. And you have had experience, and just let everybody know out there, you've had experience on the traditional as a traveling nurse, and then you went over to the other side. To now you have, what are you doing now?
Yeah, so I'm a life doula, and under that umbrella, I help people navigate the twists and turns of their life. Whatever it is, you know, it might be a divorce, it might be an illness, it might be something devastating, but whatever it is, the foundation of my work is body, mind, spirit, and soul. So I work as a nurse, I work as a Reiki master, I work as a healer, you know, I work as a hypnotherapist, and it all blends together to, yes, to be the vessel.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. I love it. I love it. In fact, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. What we're going to do right now is, everybody that knows the show knows that we have Barbara Beckley is a contributor, that she is one of our hosts, And also, she is the one that reminds us of, some really cool facts. And if there is a special day, even. And she did do a couple of videos that were pretty darn cute. And I want to share right now one. Here we go. Barbara Beckley. Thank you, Barbara. We are going to now go to Rhonda. I want to talk to you, Rhonda, about, you are someone that has been impressing me for a while now. You joined the community that this show and all shows that this production company and that I have hosted over the years support, a community that believes that we can heal through connections. In fact, many that are on this panel are from that community. Wink, wink, guys. We've seen miracles. We have. And Rhonda, you showed up and you started serving. You served and didn't stop and continued to serve. Recently, you came in at the invitation of our senior ambassador, Caroline Brown, and you shared your story. And I was like, wow, now I get it. You have quite the story. And you understand what this subject is all about in many different ways. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that? And then we'll show your video.
Sure. First of all, it's an honor to be here and to be amongst my sisters, because we know how to take our messes and make it a message one way or another, whether we want to or not. God's got it handled and keeps us out of our comfort zone until we put that message out there. For actually, since 1999, I've been going through a series of messes. And it began actually with a period in a women's federal prison camp. So I was incarcerated. I'm going to fast forward here. And after about a year being there, I stopped hitting the phone against the wall saying I don't belong here. It was at that point that I became an advocate for women in that prison to help them with their own wellness and their own healing from what was going on within them, and actually began teaching wellness classes, which got their sentences reduced. So after nearly 6 years, and trying every maneuver that there was, God wanted me there for a reason. And I thrived, and I learned a lot about myself, and I helped a lot of people, and I was there serving and being in service to others. About 11 months before my release date, which after the fact I was released, my sentence was expunged. So everyone says, well, aren't you aggravated? I said, no, I was meant to be there to do what I was doing. But before 11 months came, and for 11 months, I knew I had a lump on my breast. I said nothing. It was through the power of prayer and meditation. I got released. I saw my own doctors. Another great story. And when I was asked at that point, which was 2005, what happened with your biopsy? And I said, it's not the best news, but it's not the worst news. So I was diagnosed with breast cancer in Breast Cancer Awareness Month in October of 2005. And I couldn't believe it. I'm an athlete, an avid runner. I take care of myself. maybe a glass of wine a couple times a week, no smoking, no drugs, no anything. And it was unbelievable to me. And I thought, okay, why am I going through this? Because I do believe we call everything forward so we can learn our lessons and move forward even more strengthened than we are, which is what my practice is dedicated to these days, taking the joys and sorrows as well as the adversity, challenge, struggle, and making it work for us rather than throw us under the bus. So I began at that point thinking, I've never taken any street drugs in my life. I'm not about to do chemo. I'm not about to do this, that, or the other thing. Yes, I have the breast surgeon in the country. And I just said, no, not buying it. I started in a prayerful ritual with a practitioner and doing medical qigong. Went back to my oncologist, and my daughter was with me. And my oncologist said, I don't know what you're doing, but you're shrinking your tumor. At that point, in addition to my daughter saying, I can't believe you're buying this woo-woo stuff, but Ma, when are we going to get a break? And I knew there was something within me, this fear of surgery, of the whole drug and radiation thing. And I started chemo. Got through the chemo, had a couple scare tactics with chemo, got through it, did a little cleaning out of the margins on one of my breasts, and then went through 38 bangs of radiation. But there's a miracle in everything, and there's a blessing in everything. At that point, I was leading groups in breast cancer awareness at the hospital. And the day of surgery came, we're cleaning out the margins, and it was a beautiful day, and I'm in the gurney being ready to be wheeled to the OR, and I'm looking out the window, and nurse comes up to me, and she says, did you want something, dear? And I said, no, I'm just having a little talk with God about what's next, what's going to happen. At that point, she looked at my hair and she says, oh, your hair is growing back, peach fuzz. And she pulled back her skull cap and she says, maybe your hair will grow back as curly as mine did. I said, you know what? You're my sign. I asked God for a sign. I've got my God bumps right now. I asked God for a sign. What's going to happen? Is everything going to be all right? You're my sign, my dear. Went through everything that I went through with that. And I do believe not only do we call things forward, but the things in our life, that not so good stuff, prepares us for what might be some more not so good stuff. So we go from prison to cancer, a couple of divorces, after that, financial ruin. And you know what? I have credentials, educational and otherwise, but my credential is life. Going through what I have gone through and utilizing my authentic power from within, which incidentally, we all have it, to move forward so that we can continue to not only be in service to ourselves, but be stronger to be in service to others. And so that's what I do. That's what I do. When I am asked, well, I don't have a life purpose, I says, yes, you do. Your life purpose is to be the best that you can be wherever you are planted.
Perfect. Perfect. In fact, this is what this comment. That was a gold star comment.
Thank you. Okay.
You said so much, and what I want to do now, I was going to share your video, but actually we do have a couple of specialists in this area that I was fortunate enough to spend some time with in the last few days, and they sat down to give us their thoughts, and I want to share one of them right now.
I think people don't realize that our bodies are energy fields. We're nothing but a bunch of dancing particles. And in that, we're always able to rearrange and change the chemistry. So if somebody's yelling at me or loving me or doing something, it's creating a chemical cascade within my body. And it is an opportunity for anyone to stop and think about, do I like it? Do I not like it? What can I do? So sometimes when I can't concentrate, I'll put on concentration music on YouTube to keep me focused. So there are always different toolboxes that we can use. So sometimes people, you don't really think about it, but some people get up in the morning and says, I really want that red shirt, or I really want that green shirt. Well, every frequency actually is doing something. That's why, like in people who dress in red, that we only know that that's their power suits. They're in trouble, they're gonna wear pink. And in the jails, they do pink. So when you have jaundice, they use blue, they complement. So there's ways that we do use color to heal. Color, sound, frequencies, chemistry, it's all on that same sound frequency. We have a tendency of constantly dividing the disciplines. And what I suggest is don't. Look at them as just different aspects of things. You want to look at it as sound, you might want to look at it as color, but if you actually look at the periodic table, all those elements have a color. And the beautiful part is you will see that your dis-ease, your tumor, your something has a color. But what it is, again, color, sound, free, they're all part of that same chain of that electromagnetic spectrum. And if we can actually respect, that's what we're made of. We're made of light. And we're part of that light. So our bodies respond to that. Our bodies are not chemical, but even crystalline in nature. So our bodies being crystalline, made of water, and we're like frozen into this dimension, we're actually transducers and receivers. We actually can help other people as well, but we can also help what it is that we're attuned to and we're training ourselves to be. Our earth also has a Schumann resonance. It's a frequency that isn't trained to our brain and our heart. And then we have our own frequency that is the signature and the geometry of who we are. So when you look at people's bodies and people's eyes and how close or far, everything of that is a geometry, is an expression of the nature of who you are. So we're not just dancing with our own frequencies, we're dancing with the universal frequencies, we're dancing with the planet frequencies, and we're dancing with the own signature that we have inside. And sometimes, like in the book, The Autobiography of a Yogi, they really do show you that at different times and states and cycles, you have your ups and downs, you have a rhythm, just like the electric universe. So we're always dancing in a rhythm. So these frequencies are ever-changing and always evolving. And so I think the one thing you can think about is how do you regulate these cycles? Because we do go through biorhythms with our own monthly cycles, which is also a rhythm. They're like electrical currents that we have a peaks in the month, and there are times when we just feel really tired. It's the way, even you can consider it like a moon cycle. So all of these things we're dancing with. It's not one thing. We're really dancing with the whole universe, all at the same time.
I have the benefit of watching you guys, and I've seen a lot of this going on. And Karen Elkins, I want to say thank you. Delightful to spend time with you. And if you don't know who she is, you should check out her digital magazine, Sage to Science. You'll learn so much. And I certainly did. And so it was such an honor. And want to continue this conversation. And actually, I'm going to use one more little trick because the visual here, for those that are visual and also learn by audio, you guys are in like Flint. Yet, look, there's the kinesthetics. And in this video that we're going to be looking at right now, I want you to kind of use a little bit of an imagination that you're there in the room. We can do that. NLP, anybody, wink, wink, it works. And so I want you to put yourself in the room, listening, watching, and feeling.
Are you ready to create a miracle? Because that is exactly what we have the power to do right now as we come together with those all over the globe, millions coming together today, joining
us. And, you know, a little tour of love thing going on there. It's feeling the love going on the tour of the vision, audio, and kinesthetic. I want to open it up to the panel right now. That's what we like to do. And we haven't been doing as much piggybacking because I really wanted to have an opportunity to be able to share some stories and what it is that we're doing here. However, now we've kind of, you know, I got a little bit more up my sleeve. So, but for a couple of minutes right now, I'd like to open it up. What did you feel in hearing each other? What did you hear in listening to each other? And what did you see when you were watching each other in your videos? And I want to hear from the audience also. Who would like to start? I'm going to pick someone.
Well, I want to say, as I was watching each of you, I was thinking, oh, what an honor to be with such incredible women. And I just love your courage. And I love that our mess is our message. I mean, it's part of the message, you know, it really is part of the word message. And just, you know, your resilience and the wisdom that life has taught us. You know, I just love our sisterhood already. And so I'm just, I was just like, wow.
Yeah, I've been feeling it too. Yeah, I told you, you guys, tissue. Okay, Nori, I kind of feeling that you're ready to jump in, so I'm putting you in there.
You know, I'm a feeler. I'm very much a feeler. With each person, it was as if Pamela was hitting the frequency bowl, right? Because each person had that same vibration, not necessarily the same vibration, but their vibration. And every single person here felt like the vibration of love to me.
I agree.
It was so light and it was so radiant and it was just so magical, you know? And those are the things that miracles are made of.
Well said. Thank you. Okay, I am going to now put Barb. Barb?
Oh, you know, sitting here in the forest, listening to the sounds, the messages, the stories, we don't even know each other, or I don't, being new, know everybody. And I feel the connection. And, you know, our bodies, our DNA cells, our DNA chain, and our cells and our atoms, and being out in nature here, feeling the sunshine. I literally took my sandals off and put my foot on the earth, on the leaves, dry leaves from last fall, and just connected with Mother Earth's vibration, connected with the ladies here vibrations, the video messages. It's just really powerful. I can feel the energy. I hope the audience can feel the energy and feel connection and feel source. It's just a really balanced feeling. Wonderful feeling.
Thank you. Rhonda, I'm going to get to you in a moment,
Okay.
but I am going to play one more expert video that is appropriate at this very moment in time. It's like I want everybody that's out there watching this to know we did not pre-script this, but when you watch this video, you'll understand how miracles take place and how frequency, when you're on that, you're doing that dance, like Karen said, how magic happens. Miracles can happen.
I've had like 5 different careers. Each one has been a critical piece, but the one I'm involved in now, have been for the longest time, is research into consciousness in order to develop the full human. So I publish, I teach. I love teaching. Oh my, I love teaching. And what I try to teach is how to unfold the human, the full human potential. And that really requires that you understand how you are, who you are, the nature of yourself, how consciousness works, and how it works in alignment with the body. So consciousness is what you are. So in the scheme of things, consciousness is primary. So when you get consciousness that begins to self-organize into various patterns, and that pattern can be a bird, it can be a snake, it can be a dog, it can be a cow, it can be a human, it can be a house or a chair. This is still all conscious. And it isn't human consciousness, but there's an awareness to it, and it responds. And we have even stones in the lab. We came to research stones that had extraordinary auras around them. When you communicated with them, they lit up. They became magnetic, and they would draw other things toward them. They would, like it was a magnet. Consciousness is the feeling aspect of energy, and energy is the motion of consciousness. So consciousness and energy are two sides of one coin. They operate together. When consciousness moves, stuff happens. And we say, oh, there's energy. But we're not taught that that's consciousness in motion. And so we say, oh, we don't know what consciousness is. Yes, we do. We are consciousness. And we have individual consciousness as well. And we need a language that is a little more specific. People use the same word to mean 50 different things, or they use 50 different words to mean the same thing. And we need, what is the difference between awareness and consciousness? Awareness doesn't move. Consciousness moves. And the role of consciousness is to create. It is the nature of consciousness to create.
I want to say thank you to Penny Kelly for sitting and spending time with me today, or yes, it was actually yesterday. And if you don't know who she's a trained natural path doctor that is pretty well known in certain circles, written a number of books on this subject that we're talking about today, and it is an international speaker of renown that many know. And I want to say thank you for your time, and thank you for that message. It really hit me. In fact, she had me nearly bawling. It's been an interesting, this kind of information, and when you have that frequency coming through you, it can touch you in a variety of different ways. And of all things, people would say, why did this bring you to tears, Tamara, when she talked about the rock? Because my mother actually was the one that inspired this show. I'm not going to go into it, but when Penny Kelly talked about the rock yesterday, and then thank you, Skip Thomas, for editing the clips. And she talked about that. That's what my mom used to do. That was my playground when I was a child. She used to do things like that and teach me. And so full circle, miracles happen. It's pretty incredible. So I want to go back to you, Rhonda, as I said I would. And what have been your thoughts? What would you like to share?
The biggest thing I'm feeling is that connection. And I don't believe in accidents, happenstance, or coincidence. We were all brought here on this day for whatever reasons, and some of them are conscious right now, and some will come to even greater consciousness within us and around us for others. Barb, you talked about connection, and what I'm feeling so much in this connection here for me is what I would say to a group or an audience when I'm saying, what would you like to leave the audience with? You are not alone. I'm feeling that right now. I am not alone. It's God bumps. Okay. Must be confirming. It's good. And it's, if we would all realize that even these things we call mistakes, whoever's listening out there, you are not alone. Mistakes are not mistakes. Failures are not failures. We fall because the purpose of falling is to get up from one thing or another, whether it's illness or other not so good stuff. So that's what I'm feeling, and that's what, I guess I needed it. I called it forward. I needed to know I'm not alone. Mm-hmm. So thank you.
Well, thank you for saying that. And many know this show. In fact, 2 weeks ago, we had an eclipse that, watch it. You'll know what I'm talking about. And it's interesting. Shows that there's been a little bit of a technical. They have been some of the most powerful for you. So think about who it is that that needs to hear these messages and be taught, be fed, to hear, to see, to feel, because there is true connection and the miracle of healing. I have witnessed it. Many here have too. And with that said, I wanted one more video was a contribution, because Barbara's really good. She always finds out what is today. And I thought, oh, how wonderful is this? It actually is. Well, I'll let you say it or see it, and then I'm going to say something afterwards for it. Here you go. Did you know that today is... Superhero are, of course, anybody that knows the brands, you probably already know what I'm about to say. Also, service hero. I would say, let's just say it's superhero / service hero day today. Thank you, Barbara Beckley, for that contribution. And also, for those of you that know this show, it is a team effort. And I want to say thank you to Gloria Grace Rand, who is running production and on the production team. And she's doing an amazing job too. So as we start to get this buttoned up and keep the flow going, though, because I really want to encourage this show to keep flowing out there, because right now the world needs this message. I'm going to say it again. Right now, today, the world, the globe, our global family needs this message. And I'm going to go around in 30 seconds each right now. I'd like you to put together, if you could, in 30 seconds, say to the world, to those out there today, something about this subject. What would you like to be buttoning the show up with? Who would like to go first?
I'll go.
Okay, perfect.
I would like to say that we, together and individually, you are a miracle worker, and you're receiving miracles every single day of your life. Understand that, appreciate that, be grateful, and become even more empowered than you already are.
Beautiful. Who would like to go next? Okay, I'm putting Nori in there. You're muted, Nori.
Sorry. So sorry.
No worries. No worries.
You may be saying, Nori, I don't understand this energy consciousness stuff, and I'm really sick right now, or I'm really in a mess right now. And I'm here to tell you that your thoughts are the magic elixir. All you have to do is think one little thought that feels better than what you're feeling when you're sick. One little thought that feels better when you're in the middle of that situation. One little thought, and just keep reaching for a better thought and a better thought, and you're going to take yourself right into healing.
I love it. I love it. Okay, Pamela, you are next.
I love it too. Thank you. And I just want to share with you, sound is incredible, but do you know what is really incredible to heal your body too? Is your voice is a vitamin to your own body and to your soul.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are down or you're not feeling well, you know what you can do? Don't be worried about the way you sound. Just sing or hum, and hold your body with your hand on your heart and right at your solar plexus or your belly, and sing into your belly. You can also breathe into your belly, and it will instantly take you off the fight or flight response. So sing, and sing something that makes you feel love inside.
I love it. I love it. Okay, Barb.
My message that I would like to send out is to those who are still on their knees, hurting, to restate over and over in your mind that life is messy and it can be challenging. And even when we're down on our knees, we have the power to control our thoughts. And what we think is what we feel. And when we control our thoughts, we can regain the control over our feelings and our actions, and it shapes our realities. Our DNA and our atoms in our body, our cellular structure can be restructured. It can be regrown into healthier thoughts, eliminate any distortions, and trust the process. Trust those of us who've been on our knees. We promise you.
Perfect, perfect. Thank you. I am going to leave everyone with thank you for being here, and show up next week. Kim O'Neill will be our host next week, and it will be a great show. Man, you matter. You have the frequency. Call it. Call for those miracles. You are with it, and remember, you are truly fabulous. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you.